job one is to continue to sort that out. This will be an extensive look and body of work to get that done. Tempo of the offense, got to make sure we're playing fast enough in that situation. Right side of the offensive line will be critical. We've got to get that solidified. Tackling the defense, we haven't had a lot of live work up to this point, but we got to get a gauge on where we are tackling. And then the young guys, find out where we got with a lot of new guys. Just first so there's a laundry list, 5, 6, 7 things we got to get done.
Is the quarterback thing more about second team battling for position, or is it starting time still?
Oh, it's starting.
Is it?
It's a battle for the starting job. Travis has got it right now and has held it the entire first 7, 8 practices. But tomorrow, like I said, will be a chance to see as live situations we can create.
How fluid is the depth chart at running back?
Fluid, very fluid. And really with 3 guys, with Bubba and Troy and Devontae, those 3 guys are the guys that are in the mix. After that, it's not fluid. It's just those 3 guys at the top, and there's a clear separation. But Devontae has got a ton of upside. We put the ball on the ground, so we cannot put the ball on the ground.
Right side of the offensive line, you seem pretty settled on the left side in your center position, but how much can a single scrimmage help you in your decision-making process, or is that going to be still probably a few more days?
It could give us do a lot for us in that regard. It's not going to be unless it's so lopsided it's obvious. But we got 2 scrimmages next week, Tuesday and Saturday. Coming out of that Saturday scrimmage, we got to have most all of our question answered. Because now we're 11 days out, 12 days out from the game, and we got to start to prepare for the football game. We've got a couple of good threats, and so we've got to get that.
Do you look for toughness? Do you look for guts when you get into the second week, 2-a-days? It's hot.
Without a doubt, these are what I would say the dog days of fall camp. And the leanness of fall camp is completely worn off. There's still a lot of practices left, and we're right in the middle of it. You do find out who's got the will and the determination to get through it, and who kind of wilts and stuff.
You know if you're going to hold anybody out?
Tomorrow scrimmage? Yeah, we'll hold out Scotty and Drez. Drez may play, but he'll be yellow jersey on him. Won't be live in one tackling. Other than that, we'll meet on that tonight. Maybe Buck, and there may be a couple other guys, but for the most part, we got just about everybody go.
You've spoken of possibly having Kendall being live in a scrimmage. You know if you'll do that?
That is to be determined, and if we do, it won't be the entire scrimmage. It will be segments, and it may not be tomorrow, it may be Saturday, but I would say there's a strong possibility that one of the next 2 scrimmages, for at least a portion of the time, can be live.
Would he prefer to have that?
He does. He prefers. That's where he's at his best. I mean, that's one of his strong suits, if not his strongest suit, is escapability and extending the play, and that's a great weapon to have.
At this point in time, what's the difference between Travis Wilson 1 and Kendall Thompson 2?
Travis is throwing the ball with more accuracy. We chart every single throw that they make, and he's throwing at a higher percentage. He's a little more command in the offense because he's been around longer. Kendall is the dynamic, or his ability to run the football makes him a very dynamic player and difficult to defend. So it's not quite apples and oranges, but it's different. If Kendall is the guy, then the offense will have a facelift to accentuate what he does, and if Travis is the guy, then we'll go in that direction.
How much better a passer does he have to be for you to maybe lean more his direction?
Well, he's not throwing interceptions, which is key. He's taking care of the ball. We just need to have a few more completions. But if Kendall's in the quarterback run game, play action game, all that stuff becomes more prevalent. When Travis is in, we have a chance to do more of the drop-in stuff in addition to
Coach, how much of Travis's improved accuracy has to do with the simplified offensive scheme, and how much of it has to do with Travis's improvement in the offseason?
Probably about 50-50. 50% of it's with the more emphasis that we put on the short pass game and the quick throws, and then the other half would be just what Travis did all offseason to get himself ready for fall camp. He came into fall camp a whole different guy.
Have you had any surprises to date so far?
Yeah, all the young guys have shown up very well. The skill position guys in particular, Kendrick Young, Trevon Hobbs, Casey Hughes, just all those guys, Andre Godfrey, Marcus Williams. I think we hit the jackpot with this recruiting class at those skill positions.
So then all those guys will get significant looks in the scrimmages?
Absolutely, yes sir.
Every media huddle that we've had, you've mentioned these young guys. Is this the most talented team that you've had as the head coach of the University of Utah?
Well, it's tough to say right now because we're just going against each other, and you can't get a completely accurate read when you're doing that. You got to line up and play somebody. But you know, the 08 team was pretty darn talented. But I'd say this is the most talented team in the last 4 or 5 years,
Hobbs,
at least at this point in time.
You've mentioned Hobbs' name a number of times. Yet he doesn't seem to necessarily be in that top 4 or 5 rotation. Does he have a chance to crack that?
He does.
Over time?
Absolutely. Yeah, and we usually have 6 corners that we utilize during the course of the season, and not only at corner but a punt returner. He's a very talented punt returner, and so him and Caden Clay and Bubba Poole are battling out to see that punt returner's going to be.
On your depth chart that Liz sent out today, you had 5 corners listed as battling for those 2 spots. Will you talk about the battle for cornerback positions?
Yeah, it's a good battle. You know, Davion Orfeh and Eric Rowe right now are the top 2 guys. They're both seniors, have a lot of experience, although Eric doesn't have a lot of experience at corner, but he's got experience playing for us. Davion played the majority of all last year. But really impressed with J.T. Thomas, Reggie Porter. Reggie Porter is playing the best football that he's played since he's been here. He's completely dialed in and focused. Mo Talley is doing a good job, and then all the young guys, like I mentioned, are doing a nice job. Whitey Freeman, if he can stay healthy, he's a 5th-year senior now, and this is the last go-around for him, so I know he's anxious to contribute.
You've talked a lot about playmakers, and Clay's a new guy, but Hatfield and McClellan, are they more ready physically and maybe mentally as well to make a contribution for you guys this year?
Well, they're much further ahead than they were last year, especially Dell. Delshawn is a whole different player this fall. He's recommitted himself. He is doing the things. He's like the 3rd or 4th leading receiver in Southern California history or California history. He caught a bunch of balls in high school, and we're starting to see that manifest now. He's starting to play like he did in high school. And, I don't know why it's taken him a couple of years, but the light switch seems to have gone on for Delshawn.
Is there any concern about Tevin's ankle?
Yeah, there's concern. He's practicing, so that's a positive. He missed Saturday. Probably could have gone Saturday, but precautionary reasons we shut it down. But anytime you're coming off an injury like he had, you're just crossing your fingers every day that things don't go south on you.
How much do you have to balance the wanting to rest and keep him healthy versus he doesn't have a lot of reps with your defense?
Right. It's a balancing act, and it's a catch-22 because he does need the reps, but yet you can't wear him out. Neither him or Blecken will go this afternoon. They're not going to go double days. They're one of their guys both coming off of injuries with Brian's knee, and so we got to be smart with them, but at the same time they've got to be tuned up enough that they're ready to go on August 28th.
Who do you feel most confident about behind Tevin at that position?
Well, Brian Allen, who made the switch to wide receiver, is probably the next guy up. And then we got all those freshmen, Marcus Williams and Andre Godfrey, and Monte Seabrook has been playing some corner and some safety. He looks good and doing some good things. So, and then Charlie Henderson. Charlie Henderson's also having a nice camp. So I would say if we had to play tomorrow, and the next safety up behind those 2 guys would probably be a battle between Charlie and Marcus.
If you guys had to play tomorrow, how many defensive tackles would be in your rotation?
Defensive tackles tomorrow, probably 5. We got Sese, we got Senny, we got Lowell Otunole, who's doing a great job. Clint Shepard is doing a nice job. Who am I leaving out? We got 5 or 6 of those guys. Stevie Tuikolovatu is playing well. And so we've got that luxury again. I mean, most years we have that luxury of a 4 or 5 man rotation at defensive tackle. Brian Allen, I think I said Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
I don't know who Marcus Allen is.
Well, I think we know who Marcus Allen is, but he's a little old to be
Brian
playing.
Allen. That's the next safety up.
Do you have a timetable in mind for when you want to solidify the right side of the offensive line?
Yeah, ideally coming out of this next week, after this week that we're in, at the end of this week with 2 scrimmages, Tuesday and Saturday, that should give us a big enough body of work to make a decision, because those guys got to start playing together sooner rather than later. And I would say after the scrimmage on Saturday, we got to have a pretty definitive plan of how we're going to do it. Now that may involve Isaac Asiata playing 2 spots and rotating, Lecca at guard and Dealman at tackle while Isaac goes back and forth. There's more than just 5 set guys. That's a possibility. But we got to have whatever that plan is. It's got to be pretty well solidified coming out of Saturday.
You mean rotating guys actually in against Idaho State, against Fresno State?
Oh yeah, Lecca, redshirt freshman, he may not be ready to play a 80-snap game. So Isaac Asiata, who can play both. Maybe it's Isaac at guard, J.J. Dealman to start. Then give Lecca a blow, give J.J. a blow with Isaac at right tackle, and bring Lecca in at left guard or right guard. So there's different ways we can go. If we have 2 guys that are clearly the best of the 3, then we'll go with those 2 guys. But right now, it's kind of depending on the day. We've had some jockeying for position. Yeah. that right side, on that right side.
How comfortable are you with that youth in your secondary?
Well, we've got kind of a blend, with Tevin and Brian and Davion and Eric. They're all seniors, and so the starting group is senior laden. The nickel, JT Thomas, is a sophomore, so it's really a experienced group, or at least an upper class group of the starters. Then it drops down. That next tier is all young kids, and so they're coming along. But if we're able to stay healthy and we can bring them along at our own pace and not have to force them in there too early, then I think we're going to be in good shape.